Everybody, there I am. Hello, everybody. Thank you for coming, and thank you for being patient. We were having some technical So we have a couple announcements before we get started. So first off, turn off all your cell phones and electric devices. The noises are very distracting, and they pull other audience members out of the story. No texting, because then not only are we talking about sound, little lights come on in the audiences, and believe it or not, we can see who you are. If you need to use the restrooms, they are down the hall where you entered, across the lobby. If you have fussy children, either large or small, old or young, please take them out into the lobby to finish fussing so as to not to disturb the other patrons. Please no flash photography. We have cast members coming and going up and down all the aisles here in the audience, so please keep any personal belongings and limbs out of the aisles and in your seats. If you need to leave during the performance, I would recommend you do that while there is light, not in the dark, because in the dark is when the race cars that are our actors are running to their places, and we don't want a collision and you to have to go to the hospital. So just please be careful of the aisles. We will have a 20-minute intermission during which concessions will be served in the Langmaid room just down the hall where you entered and off of the lobby over there. It looks really pretty in there, and there's some yummy snacks for you. Please take a look at the advertisers in our program.
Your brother would not approve.
As I remember, Adam, it was upon this fashion bequeathed me by will but pour 1,000 crowns, and, as thou sayest, charged my brother on his blessing to breed me well. And there begins my sadness. My brother Jacques, he keeps at school, and report speaks goldenly of his favor. But for my part, he keeps me rustically at home, or, to speak more properly, stays me here at home unkept. For call you that a gentleman of my calling differs not from the stalling of an ox? His horses are bred better, for, despite that they are fair in their feeding, they are taught their maidage, and to that end, riders dearly hired. But I, his brother, gain nothing under him but growth, for as much as animals on his dunghills are just bound to him as I. And besides this nothing that he so plentifully gives me, there's something that something he seems to give away from me, this bars me from a place from a brother, and as much as in him lies, mine's my gentility with my education. This is it, Adam, that grieves me, and the spirit of my father, which I believe is within me, begins to mutiny against his servitude, and I will no longer endure it, though yet I know no wise remedy ought to avoid it.
Yonder comes my master, your brother.
Now, sir, what make you here?
Nothing, sir. I'm not taught to make anything.
What are you then, sir?
Marry, sir, I am helping you mar that which God made, a poor and unworthy brother of yours with idleness.
Marry, sir, be better employed, and be not a while.
Would you have me keep your hogs and eat husks with them? What prodigal portion have I spent to come to such penury?
Know you where you are, sir?
Oh, sir, very well, here in your orchard.
Know you before whom Sir?
Better than him I am before knows me. I know you are my eldest brother, and in the gentle condition of blood, you should know me. The courtesy of nations allows you my better, in that you are the firstborn. But it's the same tradition takes not away my blood. Were there 20 brothers betwixt us? I have as much my father in me as you do. Albeit, I confess, your coming before me is much nearer to his reverence.
What, boy?
Come, elder brother, you are too young in this.
Wilt thou lay hands on me, villain?
I am no villain. I am the younger son of Sir Roland de Boys. He was my father, and he is thrice a villain that says such a father begot villains. Ah! Wert thou not my brother, I would not take thy hand from thy throat to the other, and pull out thy tongue for saying so. Thou hast railed on thyself.
Sweet masters, please, for your father's remembrance, be at accord.
Let me go, I say.
I will not till I please, you shall hear me. My father charged you on his blessing to give me good education, but you have trained me like a peasant, hiding me and obscuring me through gentleman-like qualities. The spirit of my father goes strong in me, and I will no longer endure it. Though, give me the poor lot to be left me by my father, or allow me such exercises may become a gentleman. With that, I'll go buy my fortunes.
And what wilt thou do? Beg when that is spent? Well, sir, get you in. I will not long be troubled. You shall have some part of your will. I pray you leave me.
I will no further offend you than becomes my good.
Get you with him, you old dog.
Is old dog my reward? Most truly, I have lost my teeth in your service. God be with my old master. He would not have spoke such a word.
Is it even so? Begin you to grow upon me? I will physic your rankness and yet grant no 1,000 crowns neither. Holla, Adam.
Calls your worship?
Was not Charles the Duchess Boxer here to speak with me?
So please you. He is here at the door and importunes access to you.
Let him in. Will be a good way. Oh. And tomorrow the Boxer is.
Good morrow to your worship.
Good Monsieur Charles, what new news is there at the new courts?
There's no news at the court, sir. That is, but the old news. The old duke is banished by his younger sister, the new duchess, and 3 or 4 loving lords have put themselves into voluntary exile with him. Their lands and revenues enrich the new duchess, therefore she gives them good leave to wander.
Can you tell if Rosalind, the duke's daughter, be banished with her father?
Oh, no, sir. For the duchess's daughter, her cousin, so loves her. Being ever from their cradles bred together, she would have followed her exile or else died to stay behind her. She is at the court, and no less beloved of her aunt than her own daughter, and never 2 ladies loved as they do.
Where will the old duke live?
They say he is already in the forest of Ardennes, and a many merry men with him. And there they live like the old Robin Hood of England. They say many merry young gentlemen join him daily, and fleet the time carelessly as they did in the golden world.
What, you box tomorrow before the new duchess?
Marry, do I, sir? And I came to acquaint you with the matter. I am given, sir, secretly to understand that your younger brother Orlando hath a disposition to come in disguised against me to try a fall. Tomorrow, sir, I box for my credit, and he that escapes me without some broken limb shall acquit him well. Your brother is but young and tender, and for your love I would be loath to foil him, as I must, for my honor, if he should come in. Therefore, out of my love to you, I came hither to acquaint you with all that you might either stay his intendment or brook such disgrace well as he shall run into, and that is the thing of his own search, and altogether against my will.
Charles, I thank thee for thy love to me, which thou shalt find I will most kindly requite. I had my brother's purpose, earnest fellow of France, full of ambition, a secret and villainous contriver against me, his natural brother. Therefore, use thy discretion. I had his lief thou didst break his neck as his finger, and thou wert best to look to it. For if he should mightily disgrace himself, or if he should fail to mightily grace himself upon thee, he shall practice against thee in poison, or entrap thee in some villainous device, and never leave thy sight until he hath ta'en thy life. I tell thee, Charles, there is not one so young and so villain, altogether misprized. But it shall not be long. This boxer shall clear all. Nothing remains but that I kindle the boy thither, which I shall go about to do.
I pray thee, Rosalind, my sweet coz, be merry.
Dear Celia, I show more mirth than I am mistress of, and would you yet I were merrier? Unless you can teach me how to forget a banished father, you must not learn me how to remember any extraordinary pleasure.
Herein I see thou lovest me not with the full weight that I love thee. If my uncle, thy banished father, had banished thy aunt, the Duchess, my mother, so as thou had been still with me, I could have taught my love to take thy father for mine. So wist thou, if the truth of thy love were so righteously tempered as mine is to thee.
Well, I will forget the condition of my estate to rejoice in yours.
You know, my mother hath no child but I, nor none is like to have. And truly, when she dies, thou shalt be her heir. For what she hath taken away from thy father, perforce, I shall render thee again in affection. By mine honor I will. And when I break that oath, let me turn monster. Therefore, my sweet Rose, my dear Rose, be merry.
By my will, cuz, and I will devise sports. Let me see. What think you of falling in love?
Marry, do to make sport withal, but love no man in good earnest, nor no further in sport. Thou mayest in honor come off again.
Well, what shall be our sports then?
Let us sit and mock the good housewife, fortune from her wheel, that her gifts may henceforth be bestowed equally.
I would we could do so, for her gifts are mightily misplaced, and the bountiful blind woman doth most mistakes in her gifts to women.
Ha, 'tis true, for though she makes fair, she scarce makes honest, and though she makes honest, she makes very ill-favoredly.
Nay, now they must go from fortune's office to nature's. Fortune reigns in the gifts of the world, not in the lineaments of nature.
No, when nature hath made a fair creature, may she not by fortune fall into fire? Though nature hath given us wit to flood out fortune, hath not fortune sent in this fool to cut off the argument?
Indeed, there is fortune too hard for nature, when fortune makes nature's natural the cutoff of nature's wits.
Peradventure does not fortune's work neither, but nature's who perceiveth our natural wits too dull to reason of such goddesses. And has sent this natural for our whetstone, for always the dullness of the fool is the whetstone of the wits. Oh, how now, wit? Whither wander you?
Mistress, you must come away to your mother.
Were you made the messenger?
No, by mine honor, but I was bid to come for you.
What learned you this oath, fool?
Of a certain knight who swore by his honor they were good pancakes, and swore by his honor the mustard was not. Now, I'll stand to it. The pancakes were not, and the mustard was good, and yet was not the knight forsworn.
How prove you that in the great heap of your knowledge?
Stand you both forth now, stroke your chins, and swear by your beards I am a knave.
By our beards, if we had them, thou art.
By my knavery, if I had it, then I were. But if you swear by that is not, you are not forsworn. No more was this knight swearing by his honor, for he never had any. Or, if he had sworn it away long before he ever saw those pancakes or that mustard.
Prithee, who is't that thou meanest?
Oh, one that old Frida, your mother, loves.
My mother's love is enough to honor him. Enough! Speak no more of her. You'll be whipped for taxation one of these days.
The more pity that fools may not speak wisely what wise men do foolishly.
By my troth thou sayest true, for since the little wit that fools have was silenced, the little foolery of a wise man makes a great show. Ah, here comes Monsieur Lebeau.
With his mouth full of news.
That he'll put on us as pigeons feed their young.
Then shall we be news-crowned?
All the better. We shall be the more marketable. Bonjour, Monsieur Lebeau. What's the news?
Fair princess, you have lost much good sport.
Sport of what color?
Of what color, madame? How shall I answer you?
As wit and fortune will.
Or as the destinies decree.
Well said. That was laid on with a trowel.
Nay, if I keep not my rank.
Thou losest thy old smell.
You amaze me, ladies. I would have told you of good boxing, which you have lost the sight of.
You tell us the manner of this boxing.
I will tell you the beginning, and if it please your ladyships, you may see the end, for the best is yet to do. For here, where you are, they are coming to perform it.
Well, the beginning that is dead and buried.
There comes an old man and his 3 sons.
I could match this beginning with an old tale.
3 proper young men of excellent growth and presence.
With bills on their necks, be it known unto all men by these presents.
The eldest boxed with Charles, the Duchess's boxer, which in a moment threw him and broke 3 of his ribs, in which there's little hope of life left in him. And so he served the second, and so the third. Yonder they lie, the poor old man, their father, making such pitiful dole over them that all the beholders take his part with weeping.
Alas!
But what is the sport, monsieur, that the ladies have lost?
Why, this that I speak of.
Thus men may grow wiser every day. It is the first that ever I heard the breaking of ribs was sport for ladies.
For I promise thee.
But is there any else longs to see this broken music in his sides? Is there yet another dotes upon rib breaking? Shall we see this boxing, cuss?
You must, if you stay here. For here is the appointed place for the boxing, and they are ready to perform it.
Yonder, sure they are coming. Let us now stay and see it. Come on, if the youth will not be entreated, his own peril on his forwardness. See, and oh, yes, you've been taking me sweet. Just one right hook and we'll go on.
Is yonder the man?
Even he, madame.
Alas, he is too young. Yet he looks successfully. How now, daughter and cousin? Are you crept hither to see the boxing?
Aye, my liege, so please you give us leave.
You'll take little delight in it, I can tell you. There's such odds in the man. In pity of the challenger's youth, I would fain dissuade him, but he will not be entreated. Speak to him, ladies. See if you can move him. Call him hither, good Monsieur Lebeau. Do so. I'll not be by.
Monsieur the Challenger. Monsieur the Challenger. The princess is called for you.
Oh, I attend them with all duty and respect.
Young sir, have you challenged Charles the boxer?
No, fair princess. He is the general challenger. I come but in as others do to try within the strength of my youth.
Oh, young sir, your spirits are too bold for your years. You have seen cruel proof of this man's strength. If you saw yourself with your eyes or knew yourself with your judgment, the fear of your adventure would count you to a more equal enterprise. We pray you, for your own sake, to embrace your own safety and give over this attempt.
Do, young sir, your reputation will not therefore be misprized. We will make it our suit to the Duchess that the boxing might not go forward.
I beseech you, punish me not with your hard thoughts, wherein I confess me much guilty to deny so fair and excellent ladies anything. But let your fair eyes and gentle wishes go with me, wherein, if I be foiled, there's one shame that was never gracious, and if killed, one dead that was willing to be so. I shall do my friends no wrong, for I have none to lament me, the world no injury, for only in it I make a place which may be better supplied when I've made it empty.
The little strength I have, I would it were with you.
And mine to eke out hers.
Fare you well. Pray heaven I be deceived in you.
Your heart's desires be with you.
Come, where is this young gallant that is so desirous to lie with his mother Earth?
Ready, sir, but his will hath in it a more modest working.
You will try but one fall.
No, I warrant your grace. You shall not persuade him to a second that hath been so mightily persuaded from a first.
And you mean to mock me after? You should not have mocked me before, but come your ways.
Now, Hercules, be thy speed, young man.
Oh, I were I would invisible to catch the strong fellow by the leg.
Woo!
No more.
Yes, I beseech your grace, and that ye well breathe.
How doth thou, Charles?
He cannot speak, my lady.
Woo! Let's go!
Way to
Woo! Yeah! Yeah!
Bear him away. What is thy name, young man?
Orlando, my liege, the younger son of Sir Roland de Boys.
I wouldst thou had been son to some man else. The world esteemed thy father as honorable, but I did find him still mine enemy. Thou shouldst have better pleased me with this deed hadst thou descended from another house. But fare thee well, thou art a gallant youth. I wouldst thou hadst told me of another father. Were I my mother, coz, would I do this?
I am more proud to be Sir Roland's son, his youngest son, and I will not change that calling to be adopted heir to Frida.
My father loved Sir Roland as his soul, and all the world was on my father's mind. Had I known this young man his son, I should have given him tears and two entreaties, ere thus he should have ventured.
Gentle cousin, let us go thank him and encourage him. My mother's rough and envious disposition sticks me at heart. Sir, you have well deserved. If you do keep your promises in love, but justly, as you have exceeded all promise, your mistress shall be happy.
Young gentleman, wear this for me. One out of suits with fortune that could give more, but that our hand lacks means. Shall we go, cuz?
Aye, fare you well, fair gentleman.
Can I not say thank you? My better parts are all thrown down, and that what stands here is but a quintain. A mere lifeless block.
He calls us back. My pride fell with my fortunes. I'll ask him what he would. Did you call, sir? Sir, you have boxed well, and have overthrown more than your enemies.
Will you go, cuss?
Have with you. Fare you well.
Okay.
What passion hangs these weights upon my tongue that I cannot speak to her yet? She urged conference. Oh, poor Orlando, thou art overthrown, or Charles or something weaker masters thee. Oh.
Good sir,
Hey!
I do in friendship counsel you to leave this place. albeit you've deserved high commendation, true applause, and love, such is the Duchess's condition that she misconstrues all that you have done. The Duchess is volatile. What she is indeed better suits you to conceive of than I to speak of.
I thank you, sir.
Hello, Rosalind. Okay. My cousin, why, Rosalind. Cupid have mercy, not a word.
Not one to throw at a dog.
No, thy words are too precious to be cast away upon curs. Throw some of them at me. Come, lay me with reasons.
Then there were two cousins laid up, when the other should be lame with reason, and the other mad without any.
But is all of this for your father?
No, some of it is for my child's father. Oh, how full of briars is this working day world!
Oh, they are but burrs, cousin, cast upon thee in holiday foolery. If we walk not in the trodden paths, our very petticoats will catch them.
Oh, I could shake them off my coats. These burrs are in my heart.
Hem them away.
I would try if I could cry hem and have him.
Oh, a good wish upon you. You will try in time in despite of a fall, but turning these jests out of service, let us talk in good earnest. Is it possible on such a sudden that you should fall into so strong a liking with Sir Roland's youngest son?
The Duke, my father, loved his father dearly.
Doth it therefore ensue that you should love him dearly? By that kind of chase I should hate him, for my mother hated his father dearly, yet I hate not Orlando.
No, Faith, hate him not, for my sake.
Why should I not? Doth he not deserve well?
Let me love him for that. And you do love him because I do. Look, here comes the Duchess.
Oh, with her eyes full of anger.
Mistress, dispatch you with your safest haste and get you from our courts.
Me, aunt?
You, cousin. Within these 10 days, if that thou beest found within our public courts as close as 20 miles, thou diest for it.
I do beseech you, Grace, let the knowledge of my fault bear with me. Never so much in a thought unborn did I offend your highness.
Thus do all traitors. If their purgation did consist in words, they are as innocent as grace itself. Let it suffice thee that I trust thee not.
Yet your mistrust cannot make me traitor. Tell me.
By Celia, we stayed her for your sake, else had she with her father ranged along.
I did not then entreat to have her stay. It was your own pleasure and your own remorse. I was too young at that time to value her, but now I know her. She betrayed her. We are like Juno's swans. We go coupled and inseparable.
She's too subtle for thee. And her smoothness, her very patience speak to the people, and they pity her. Thou art a fool. She robs thee of thy name, and thou shalt more bright and see more virtuous when she is gone. Then open not thy lips. Firm and irrevocable is my doom, which I have passed upon her. She's banished. If you outsay the time, then upon mine honor and in the greatness of my word, you die.
Oh, my poor Rosalind, whither wilt thou go? Wilt thou change parents? I'll give thee mine, I charge thee. Be not more grieved than I am.
I have more cause. Right to our travel?
Oh, he'll go o'er the wide world with me. Leave me alone to woo him. Let's away, get our jewels and our wealth together, devise the fittest time and safest way to hide us from pursuit that will be made after our flight. Now go we in content to liberty and not to banishment.
Now, my co-mates and brothers in exile, hath not old custom made this life more sweet than that of painted pomp? Are not these woods more free from peril than the envious court? Here feel we but the penalty of Adam. The season's difference as the icy fang, and churlish chiding of winter's wind, which, when it bites and blows upon my body, even till I shrink with cold, I smile and say, this is no flattery. These are counselors, which feelingly persuade me what I am. Sweet are the uses of adversity, which, like the toad, ugly invents in running brooks, sermons and stones, and good in everything. I would not change it.
Happy is your grace that can translate the stubbornness of fortune into so quiet and so sweet a style.
Come, shall we kill us a venison?
Yeah.
Yes, wait.
And yet, it irks me, the poor dappled fools, being native burghers of this desert city, should, in their own confines with forked heads, have their round haunches gored.
Indeed, my lord. The melancholy Jacques grieves at that. And at that kind, swears you do more usurp than doth your sister that hath banished you. Today, my lord of Vamians and myself did steal behind as she lay along under an oak, whose antique root peeps out upon the brook that brawls along this wood. To the which place a poor sequestered stag, who from the hunter's aim had ta'en a hurt, did come to languish. And indeed, my lord, the wretched animal heaved forth such groans that their discharge did stretch his leather coat almost to the bursting, and the big round tears coursed one another down his innocent nose in piteous chase. Plop, plop. And thus the hairy fool, much marked in the melancholy Jacques, stood along the extremest verge of the swift brook, augmenting it with tears.
But what said Jacques? Did she not moralize this spectacle?
Oh, yes. Into 1,000 similes. Bernina, yes. Come here. All right. Kneel on this rock. Lord Kenneth. Okay, you're going to come here. Right here. Right here. Okay. for her weeping into the needless stream. Poor dear, quoth she, thou makest a testament as worldlings do, giving thy sum more to that which had too much. Then, being there alone, left and abandoned of his velvet friends, 'tis right, quoth she, thus misery doth part the flux of company. Anon, a careless herd, full of Jacques, sweep on, you fat and greasy citizens, 'tis just the fashion. Wherefore do you look upon that poor and broken bankrupt there? And thus, most invectively, she pierceth through the body of the country, city, court, and yea, this our lives, swearing that we are mere usurpers, tyrants, and what's worse, to fright the animals and kill them up, and their assigned and native dwelling places. Whew.
Did you leave her in this contemplation?
Aye, we did, my lord, weeping and commenting upon the southern deer.
Show me the place. I love to cope her in these fits, for then she's so full of matter.
I'll bring you to her straight.
Can it be possible that no man has seen them? No, it cannot be. Some villains of my court are in consent and sufferance in this.
I cannot hear of any that did see her. Her ladies, the attendants of her chamber, saw her abed in the morning early, found the bed untreasured of their mistress.
My lady, the roguish clown at whom so oft your grace was wont to laugh is also missing. Hesperia, the princess's gentlewoman, confesses that she secretly overheard your daughter and her cousin much commend the parts and graces of the boxer that did but lately foil the sinewy Charles.
Send it to his brother. Fetch that gallant hither. If he be absent, bring his brother to me. I shall make him talk. Do this suddenly, and let not search nor inquisition quail to bring again these foolish runaways. Go!
Who's there? Oh,
Young master. Oh, you memory of old Sir Roland. Why, what make you here? Why would you be so fond to overcome the bonny prizer of the volatile Duchess? Your praises come home too swiftly before you. Know you not, to some men their graces serve them but as enemies? No more do yours. Your virtues, gentle master, are sanctified and holy traitors to you. Oh, what a world this is, when what is comely envenoms him that bears it.
why? What's the matter?
Oh, unhappy youth. Your brother, no brother, yet the son, yet not the son of him I was about to call the father, hath heard your praises. And this night he means to burn the lodging in which you used to lie your head, and you within it. And if he fail at that, he will have some other means to cut you off. This is no place. This house is but a butchery. Abhor it. Fear it. Do not enter it.
What? What's the Hammock do?
No matter what you do, so long as you come not here.
Wouldst thou have me go and beg my food? Or with a base and boisterous sword enforce a thievish living on the common road? This I must do, or know not what to do, or this I will not do how I can. I will rather subject me to the malice of a diverted blood and bloody brother.
But do not so. I have 500 crowns. The thrifty hire I did save unto your father, which I did store to be my foster nurse when service should in my old limbs lie lame and unregarded age in corners thrown. Take that, and he that doth the ravens feed providently caters for the sparrow. Be comfort to my age. Here is the gold, and all this I give to you. Let me be your servant. Though I am old, yet I am strong and lusty. I'll do all the service of a younger man in all your businesses and necessities.
Oh, good old man. The constant service of the ancient world where service sweat for duty and not for meed. Thou art not for the fashion of these times where service sweat but for promotion, and having that do choke their service up, but even with the promotion is not so with thee. But come, we'll go together, and ere we'll have our youthful wages spent, we'll light upon some settled though content.
Go on, gentle master, and I will follow thee to the last gasp with truth and loyalty. From 17 years till now almost 80 here lived I, but now live here no more. At 17 years, many their fortune seek, but at 80 it is too late a week. Yet, fortune cannot recompense me better than to die well and not my master's debtor.
Oh, Jupiter, how weary are my spirits.
I care not for spirits if my legs were not weary.
I could find it in my heart to disgrace my man's apparel and cry like a woman. But I must comfort the weaker vessel, as double and hose ought to show itself courageous unto petticoats. Therefore, courage, good Aliena.
I pray you, bear with me. I cannot go no further.
For my part, I had rather bear with you than bear you. Though if I did bear you, I should bear no cross, for I think you have no money in your purse.
Well, this is the forest of Arden.
Now am I in Arden. When I was at home, I was in a better place, but travelers must be content.
Aye, be so, good touchstone. Uh-huh. Look you who comes here, a young man in an old and sullen talk.
That is the way to make her scorn you still.
Oh, Corin, that thou knew how I do love her.
I partly guess. I have loved her now, dummy.
No, Corin, being old, thou canst not know. Though in thy youth thou wast as true a lovers ever sighed upon a midnight pillow. But if thy love were ever like to mine, as sure I think did man never loved so, then how many actions most ridiculous hast thou been drawn to by thy fantasy?
Into 1,000 that I have forgotten.
Oh, then thou didst ne'er love so heartily. If thou canst remember the slightest folly that love hast drawn thee to, thou hast not loved. Or if thou hast not broke from company abruptly, as my love now makes me do, thou hast not loved. Oh, Phoebe, 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 Phoebe.
Alas, poor shepherd, searching for thy wound I have by hard adventure found mine own.
And I mine. I remember when I was in love. I broke my sword upon a stone and bid him take that for coming tonight to Jane's smile. I remember the kissing of her batlet and the cow's dugs that her pretty chopped hands had milked, and the wooing of a peace god instead of her, from whom I took 2 cods and, giving them to her again, said, "Wear these for my sake." We that are true lovers run into strange capers, but as all is mortal in nature, so all nature and love is mortal in folly.
Thou speakest wiser than thou art ware of.
Nay, I shall ne'er beware of my own wit till I break my shins against it.
Jove, Jove, this shepherd's passion is much upon my fashion.
And mine, but it grows something stale with me.
I pray you, one of you, question yon man if he for gold will give us any food. I faint almost to death.
Holly, you clown.
Peace, fool. He is not thy kinsman.
Who calls?
Your betters, sir.
Else they are very wretched.
Peace, I say. Good even to you, friend.
And to you, good sir, and to you all.
I pray thee, if that love or gold can in this desert place buy entertainment, bring us to a place where we may rest ourselves and feed. Here is a young maid who travels much oppressed and faints of succor.
Fair sir, I pity her, and would wish more for her sake than mine own that my fortunes were more able to relieve her. But I am shepherd to another man, and shear not the fleeces that I graze. My master is of churlish disposition, and little recks to find the way to heaven by doing deeds of hospitality. Besides, his cock, his flocks, and bounds of feed are now on sale. And at our sheep cot now, by reason of his absence, there is nothing on which you will feed. But what there is, come see, and by my voice, most welcome shall you be.
What is he that shall buy this flock and pasture?
That young swain you saw here erewhile, that little, assuredly the thing is to be sold. Go with me. If you lack upon report the soil, the profit, and this kind of life, I, your very faithful feeder, will be, and will buy it with your gold right suddenly. Come on, come on.
Oh, Touchstone, wait. Okay. Okay.
Oh, let's do Under the Greenwood Tree. Just the first verse. Under the greenwood tree, who loves to lie with me and turn his merry note unto the sweet bird's throat. Come hither, come hither, come hither. Here shall he see no enemies, but winter and rough weather. Here shall he see no enemy, but winter and rough weather. That was beautiful.
More. I prithee more.
It'll make you melancholy, Mademoiselle Jacqueline.
I thank it. More. I prithee more. I can suck melancholy from a song as a weasel sucks eggs. More. I prithee more.
My voice is ragged. I know I cannot please you.
I do not desire you to please me. I desire you to sing. Come, another stanza. Call you them stanzas?
What you will, Mademoiselle Jacqueline.
Nay, I care not for the names. They hold me nothing. Will you sing?
More at your request than to please myself.
Then if ever I thank any man, I'll thank you. Ugh, but that they call compliment is like the encounter of two dog apes. When a man thanks me heartily, methinks I've given him a penny, and he renders me beggarly thanks. Come, sing, come, and you that will not, hold your tongues.
Well, then I'll end the song. Sirs, cover the while. The Duke will drink under his tree. He has been all this day to look you.
And I have been all this day to avoid him. He's too disputable for my company. I think of as many matters as he, but I give heaven thanks and make no boast of them. Come, Warble, come.
Second verse? Yeah. Okay. Doth ambition shine all together here, who loves to live with the sun, seeking the food he eats, and believes with
give you a verse to this note that I made yesterday in despite of my invention.
And I'll sing it.
Thus it goes.
Okay, can we do a key change? Okay. Okay. That was not a key change! I don't even know what song that was! Are you even modulating now?
Where's your highest guy?
I don't know. He doesn't pinch. I think you just started over. You are trolling me. No? No?
How do you feel about an acapella number?
I don't like it. No. You are not getting any change. I'll just sing it anyways, I guess.
I think it's this one.
Oh,
Is it this one?
maybe? Nope, not that one. Yeah, I'll just sing it.
Acapella.
I got it, girl. If it to come to pass that any man turned ass, leaving his wealth and ease, a stubborn will to please, duck-dummy. Ooh, what is that? Here shall he see, grows fools as he, and if he will come to me, here shall he see, grows fools as he, and if he will come to me, under the greenwood tree, under the greenwood tree, under the greenwood
No, I know, that was good. That was good.
No tips for you.
Ugh.
Okay, what was the ductama?
Dr. Dame, 'tis a Greek invocation to call fools into a circle. I'll go sleep if I can. If I cannot, I'll rail against all the firstborn of Egypt.
And I'll go seek the Duke. His banquet is prepared.
Dear master, I can go no further. Oh, I die for food.
Adam,
Here I lie down and measure out my grave. Oh, farewell, kind master.
how now, Adam? No greater heart in thee? Live a little, comfort a little, cheer thyself a little. If this uncouth forest yield anything savage, I will either be food for it, or bring it as food to thee. Thy conceit is nearer death than thy powers, so for my sake, be comfortable. Hold death awhile at arm's end. I will here be with thee quickly. And if I bring thee not something to eat, then I will give thee leave to die. But if thou diest before I return, then thou art a mocker of my labor. Well said, well said. Thou lookest cheerly. I will here be with thee quickly. But thou liest in bleakest air. I will bear thee to some shelter. And thou shalt not die for lack of a dinner, or there's anything in this desert. Cheerly, good Adam.
I think she'd be transformed to a beast. I can find her nowhere like a human.
My lord, she has but now gone heads. Here was she merry, hearing of a song.
If she, compact of jars, grow musical, we will shortly have discord in the spheres. Go seek her. Tell her I would speak with her.
She saves my labor by her own approach.
How now, mademoiselle? What a life is this that your poor friends must woo your company? You look merrily.
A fool. A fool. I met a fool in the forest. A motley fool. Ugh, miserable world. As I do live by food, I met a fool who laid him down and basked him in the sun and railed on Lady Fortune in good terms. In good set terms, and yet a motley fool. Good morrow, fool, quoth I. No, sir, quoth he. Call me not fool till heaven have sent me fortune. Then he drew a dial from his poke, and looking on it with lackluster eyes, says very wisely, It is 10 o'clock. Thus we may see, quoth he, how the world wags. 'Twas but an hour ago since it was 8, and after 1 hour more 'twill be 11. And so from hour to hour we ripe and ripe, and then from hour to hour we rot and rot, and thereby hangs a tale. When I did hear the motley fool thus more on the time, my lungs began to crow like a chanticleer, that fools should be so deep contemplative. And I did laugh since intermission, an hour by his dial. A noble fool, a worthy fool. Motley's the only wear.
What fool was this?
A worthy fool, one that hath been a courtier, and says, If ladies be but young and fair, they have the gift to know it. And in his brain, which is dry as the remainder voiced biscuit after a voyage, he hath strange places crammed with observation, which he vents in mangled forms. That I were a fool. I'm ambitious for a motley coat.
Thou shalt have one.
It is my only suit, provided that you weed your better judgment of all opinion that grows rank in them, that I am wise. I must have liberty, withal, as large as the charters the wind, to blow on whom I please, for so fools have. And they that are most gold with my folly, they most must laugh. And why, sir, must say so? The why is plainest way to parish church. He that a fool doth very wisely hit, doth very foolishly, although he's smart, not to seem senseless of the bob. If not, the wise man's folly is anatomized, even in the squandering glances of the fool. Invest me in my motley. Give me leave to speak my mind, and I will through and through cleanse the foul body of the infected world.
What dost do?
What, for a counter, would I do but good?
Most mischievous foul sin and chiding sin, for thou thyself hast been a libertine.
Why, who cries out on pride that can therein tax any private party? Doth it not flow as hugely as the sea, till that the very weary means to ebb? What woman in the city do I name when I say, the city woman bears the cost of princes on unworthy shoulders? Who can come in and say that I mean her, when such a one as she, such is her neighbor? Or, what is he of basest function that says, his bravery is not of my cost, thinking that I mean him, but therein suits his folly to the metal of my speech? There then, how then, what then? Let me see wherein my tongue hath wronged him. If it do him right, he hath wronged himself. If he be free, then my taxing, like a wild goose, flies, unclaimed of any man. Who comes here?
Forbear and eat no more,
I've eaten none yet.
nor shall not to necessity be served.
Of what kind should this cock come of?
Sir, are you thus emboldened by your distress, or else a rude despiser of good manners, that in civility thou seemest so empty?
You touched my vein at first. The thorny point of bare distress hath ta'en from me the show of smooth civility. I am inland bred and know some nurture, but forbear, I say. He dies that touches any of this food, till my affairs are answered.
And you will not be answered with reason? I must die.
What would you have? Your gentleness shall force more than your force move us to gentleness.
I almost die for food, and let me have it.
Sit and eat, and welcome to our table.
Speak you so gently? Oh, pardon me, I pray you. I thought all things had been savage here. Therefore, put I in the countenance of stern commandment that whatever in this desert inaccessible, if ever Ben were bells and knolled to church, and if ever from eyelids wiped a tear, and know what tis to pity and be pitied, let gentleness my strong enforcement be, in which hope I blush and hide my sword.
True is it, we have seen better days, and have with holy bell been knolled to church, and sat at good men's feast, and wiped our eyes of drops that sacred pity hath engendered. Therefore, sit you down in gentleness. Take a bond, command what help we have, that to your wanting may be ministered.
Then for very food a while longer, while, like a doe, I go to seek my fawn, and find it, and feed it. There is an old man, who hath after me many a weary step, limped in pure love, till he be first sufficed. Oppressed with two weak evils, age and hunger, I will not touch a bit.
Go seek him out, and we will waste nothing until you return.
I thank ye, and be blessed for your good comfort.
Thou seest we are not all alone unhappy. This wide and universal theater presents more woeful pageants than the scene wherein we play in.
Ooh. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. At first, the infant mewling and puking in the nurse's arms, and then the whining schoolboy with his satchel and shining morning face, creeping like a snail unwillingly to school. And then the lover, sighing like furnace, with woeful ballad made to his mistress's eyebrow. And then the soldier, full of strange oaths and bearded like the pard, jealous in honor, sudden and quick and choral, seeking the bubbled reputation even in the cannon's mouth. And then the justice, in fair round belly, with good cape and line, full of wise saws and modern instances, and so he plays his part. The 6th age shifts to the lean and slippered pantaloon, with spectacles on nose and pouch on side, his youthful hose, well saved, a world too wide for his shrunk shank. His big manly voice, turning again towards childish treble, pipes and whistles in his sound. Last scene of all that ends this strange eventful history is second childishness and mere oblivion. Sans teeth, sans eyes, sans taste, sans everything.
Welcome. Set down your venerable burden and let him feed.
Thank you most for him.
Sorry, Junie. I scarce could speak to thank him myself.
Welcome in fall, too. I will not trouble you as yet to question you on your fortune. Give us some music. And good cousin, sing.
Yeah, we got it. This time, can we do blow, blow without the music change? Thank you. That youth is not so keen, because thou art not seen. Although thy breath be rude, hi ho, sing, hi ho. Most friendship is feigning, most loving me folly, unto the green holly, the green holly. Then hi ho, the holly, this life is most jolly. Freeze, freeze, thou bitter sky that does not bite so nigh, as friendship remember not. Thou, though the waters warp, thy sting is not so sharp, as friendship remember not. Then hi ho, sing hi ho, sing hi ho, blow, blow, the winter wind. Thou art not so unkind, thy tooth is not so keen, because thou art not seen. Although thy breath be rude. Is that all you got? No? No space left? Oh, Jacques, come on. We were doing so much fun right there. We could have danced some more.
Just in his own world.
if that you were the son of Sir Roland de Bois, as you whispered faithfully that you were, be truly welcome hither. I am the Duke who loved your father. The residue of your fortune, go to my cave and tell me. Good old man, you are right welcome here as your master. Support him by the arm, give me your hand, and let me all your fortunes understand.
Haven't seen them since, sir. Sir, that cannot be. But were I not the better part made mercy, I should not seek an absent argument of my revenge thou present. But look to it. Find out thy brother, wheresoever he be. Seek him with candle. Bring him within these 12 months within our courts, or turn thou no more to seek a living in our territory. Thy lands and all that thou callest thine for seizure do we seize into our hands, till thou canst quit us of what we think's against thee by thy brother's mouth.
Oh, that your highness knew my heart in this. I have never loved my brother in my life.
More villain thou. Well, turn him out of doors, and let my officers of such a nature make an extent on his house and lands. Do this expediently and turn him going.
Oh, Rosalind. Oh, hang there my verse and witness on my love. Oh, Rosalind, these trees shall be my books, and in their thoughts, and in their barks, my thoughts out character. That whichever eye in which this forest looks shall see thy virtues witnessed everywhere. Run, run, Orlando, carve on every tree, the fair, the chaste, the unexpressive she.
So, how last shepherd's life, Master Touchstone?
Truly, shepherd, in respect of itself, it is a good life, but in that it is a shepherd's life, it is not. As it is in the fields, look you, it pleaseth me well. But as it is not in court, it is tedious. As it is a spare life, look you, it fits my humor well. But as there is no more plenty in it, it goes much against my stomach. Hast any philosophy in thee, shepherd?
No more than, but I know the more one sickens, the worse at ease he is. That the property of rain is to wet and fire to burn. That good grass makes for fat sheep. That a great cause of the night is the lack of the sun. And that he that hath not learned wit by nature nor art may complain of good breeding, or else comes of a very dull kindred.
Such a one is a natural philosopher. Wast ever in court, shepherd?
No, truly.
Then thou art damned.
Nay, I hope.
Truly, thou art damned like an ill-roasted egg, all on one side.
For not being at the court, your reason.
Why? Thou never wast at court, thou never sawest good manners. And if thou never sawest good manners, then thy manners must be wicked. And wickedness is sin, and sin is damnation. Thou art in a parlous state, shepherd.
Not a whit, Touchstone. Those that are good manners at the court are as ridiculous in the country as the behavior of the country is most mockable at the court. You told me you salute not at the court, but you kiss the hands. That courtesy would be uncleanly if courtiers were shepherds.
Instance, briefly, come, instance.
Well, we are still handling our ewes, and theirs are, you know, greasy.
Why, do not your courtiers' hands sweat? And is not the grease of a mutton as wholesome as the sweat of a man? A better instance.
Besides, our hands are hard.
Your lips will feel them the sooner. Mend the instance, shepherd.
And they are often tarred over with the surgery of our sheep. Would you have us kiss tar? The courtier's hands are perfumed with civet.
Most shallow man, learn of the wise and perpend. A civet is of baser birth than tar, the very uncleanly flex of a cat. A better instance.
You have too courtly a wit for me. I'll retire.
Wilt thou rest damned? God help thee, shallow man. God make incision in thee.
I earn that I eat, get that I wear. Oh, no man hate, and be no man's good. Glad for other men's happiness, content with my harm, and the pride of my life is to see my ewes graze and my lambs suck.
That is another simple sin in you.
Here comes young Master Ganymede, my new mistress's brother.
From the east to western end, no jewel is like Rosalind. Her worth being mounted on the wind through all the world bare lind. All the pictures fairest lined are but black to Rosalind. Let no fair be kept in mind but the fair of Rosalind.
I'll rhyme you so 8 years together, dinners and suppers and sleeping hours accepted. It is the right butterwoman's rank to market.
Out, fool.
For a taste, if a hart do lack a hind, let him seek out Rosaline. If the cat will after kind, so be sure will Rosaline.
Touchstone.
Winter garments must be lined, so must slender Rosaline.
Hey!
Sweetest nut hath sourest rind, such a nut is Rosaline. This is the very false gallop of verses. Why do you infect yourself with them?
Peace, you dull fool. I found them on a tree.
Truly, the tree yields bad fruit.
I'll graff it with you, and then I shall graff it with a meddler. And it'll be the earliest fruit in the country. And you'll be rotten, or you should be half ripe. And that's the right virtue of the meddler.
So you have said, but whether wisely or no, let the forest judge.
Peace. Here's my sister reading. Stand aside.
Why should this a desert be? For it is unpeopled? No. Oh, tongues I'll hang on every tree. That shall Sybil saying show. Some have violated vows twixt the souls of friend and friend. But upon the fairest boughs, or at every sentence end, will I, Rosalinda, write, teaching all that read to know the quintessence of every sprite heaven would in little show. Therefore heaven nature charged that one body should be filled with all the graces wide and large nature presently distilled. Thus Rosalind of many parts by heavenly synod was devised, of many faces, eyes, and hearts, to have the touch as dearest prized. Would that she these gifts should have, and I to live and die her slave. Oh.
Oh, most gentle pulpiter, what tedious homily of love have you wearied your parishioner in them more feet than the verses could bear?
'Tis no matter. The feet might bear these verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of wonder before you came. For look here what I found upon the palm tree. I was never so berhymed since Pythagoras' time.
Trow you, who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore about his neck? Oh, change you color?
I prithee who?
Oh, Lord, it is a hard matter for friends to meet, and mountains may be removed with an earthquake and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
Is it possible?
Nay, I prithee with most petitionary vehemence. Tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and out of all hoping.
Good, my complexion. Dost thou think that I am comparison like a man that I have double in hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay is a South Sea a discovery. I pray thee, tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou could stammer that thou might pour this concealed man out of thy mouth. As wine comes out of Narrowmouth's bottle, either too much at once or none at all. I pray thee take the cork out of thy mouth that I might drink thy tidings.
He hath but a little beard. It is young Orlando that tripped up the boxer's heels and your heart both in an instant. Ah!
Nay. But the devil take mocking. Speak now, sad brow and true maid.
I faith, 'cause 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando?
Oh, see. What said he? How looked he? Where and whence he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me?
No.
Where remains he? And how parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in one word.
You must borrow me Gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great of any mouth of this age's size to say aye and no to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
But doth he know that I am in this forest and in man's apparel? Ooh, look he as freshly as he did the day he boxed.
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. Take a taste of my finding him and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may as well be called Joe's tree when it drops forth such fruits.
I do not like her name.
There was no thoughts of pleasing you when she was christened.
What stature is she of?
Just as high as my heart.
Ugh. You're full of pretty answers. Have not been acquainted with goldsmiths' wives and conned them out of rings.
No, but I answer you right, painted cloth. From whence have you studied your questions?
You have a nimble wit. Will you sit down with me, and we two will rail against our mistress the world and all our misery?
I will chide no breather but myself, against whom I know most faults.
Ugh. The worst fault you have is to be in love.
'Tis a fault I would not change for your best virtue. I grow weary of
By
you.
my troth, I was seeking for a fool when I found you.
A fool? Oh, he is drowned in the brook. Look but in, and you shall see him.
Therein I shall see mine own figure.
Which I think to be either a fool or a cipher.
I'll tarry no longer. Farewell, good Signor Love.
I am glad of your departure. Adieu, melancholy.
I will speak to him like a soft key, and under that habit play the knave with him. Do you hear, Forester?
Very well, what would you?
I pray thee, what is it o'clock?
You should ask what time of day it is. There's no clock in the forest.
Then there is no true lover in the forest. Else sighing every minute and groaning every hour would detect the lazy foot of time as well as the clock.
And why not the swift foot of time? Had that not been as proper?
By no means, sir. Time travels in diverse paces, only that you see dwell where she is kindled.
Your accent is something finer that could be purchased and so removed a dwelling.
I have been told so of many. For indeed, an old religious uncle of mine taught me how to speak, who was in his youth an inlandman, one who knew courtship too well, for there he fell in love. I have heard him read many lectures about it, and I thank God I am not a woman, to be touched with so many giddy offenses that he hath generally taxed the whole sex withal.
Can you remember any of these principal evils he laid to the charge of women?
There were none principal. They were all like one another, as halfpence are, every one seeming more monstrous till his fill of fault could match it.
I prithee, recount some of them.
Nay, I will not cast away my physic, but on those that are sick. There was a young man, haunts this forest, abusing our young plants, carving Rosalind on their barks, hangs odes upon hawthorns and elegies on brambles, all forsooth deifying the name Rosalind. If I could meet that fancy monger, I would give him some good counsel, for he seems to have the quotidian of love about him.
I am he that is so love-shaked. I pray you, tell me a remedy.
There are none of my uncle's marks about you. He taught me how to know a man is in love, in which cage of rushes I am sure you are not prisoner.
What were his marks?
A lean cheek, a blue eye and sunken, an unquestionable spirit, a beard, neglected, which you have not. But I pardon you for that, for simply in your having a beard is a younger brother's revenue. Then your hose should be ungartered, your sleeve unbuttoned, and your shoes untied, and everything about you demonstrating a careless desolation. But you are no such man.
Fair youth, I would. I could make thee believe I love.
Me believe it. You may seem as make her that you love believe it, which I warrant she is apter to do than to confess she does. That is one of the points in which women still give lies to their consciences. But in good sooth, are you he that hangs the verses on the trees in which Rosalind is so admired?
I swear to thee, fair youth, by the white hand of Rosalind, I am that he, that unfortunate he.
But are you so much in love as your rhymes speak?
Neither rhyme nor reason can express how much.
Love is merely a madness, and I tell you deserves as well as dark house and a whip as madmen do. Yet I profess curing it by counsel.
Did you ever cure any so?
Please enjoy our 20-minute intermission.
She was always smiling from ear to ear, and everybody wondered and frowned. Would she ever know the feeling of tears? All she said to them was, live your life just like you're young again. No, don't back up again. 'Cause if you want a life, then live it better. If you want love, then stay together. If you want to smile, then be forever. She was the curious kind. To hate, she was blind. Always love on her mind. Just come on, make quite figure out what fear's all about. So she put it aside all night, all day, and everybody talked about her. Said there must be something wrong with this girl. All she said to them was, live your life just like you're young again. No, don't you cry. Just love with a boy, in love with a girl, so in love with the world, so beautiful. She was in love with the night, the way the sun shines. All she needed was love to have to hold, and nobody could make her feel that.
Come apace, good Audrey. I will fetch up your goats, Audrey. And how, Audrey? Am I the man yet? Doth my simple feature content you?
Your features? Lord warrant us. What features?
I am here with thee and thy goats, as the most capricious poet, honest Ovid, was among the Goths.
Ugh, knowledge ill inhabited. Worse than Jove in a thatched house.
When a man's verse cannot be understood, nor a man's good wit seconded with the forward child understanding, it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room. Truly, I would the gods had made thee poetical.
I do not know what poetical is. Is it honest and did in word? Is it a true thing?
Oh, no, truly, for the truest poetry is the most feigning, and lovers are given to poetry, and what they swear in poetry may be said as lovers they do feign.
A material fool.
But be it as it may be, I will marry thee. And to that end, I have been with Sir Oliver Martex, the vicar of the next village, who has promised to meet me here in this place of the forest and to couple us.
I would fain see this meeting.
Oh, the gods give us joy!
Amen. A man may, if he were of fearful heart, stagger in this attempt. For here we have no temple but the wood, no assembly but horned beasts. But what though? Courage. As horns are odious, they are necessary. Is the single man therefore blessed? No. As a walled town is more worthier than a village, so the forehead of a married man is more honorable than the bare brow of a bachelor. Here comes Sir Oliver.
Tis no matter. Nor a fantastical knave of them all shall flout me out of my calling.
Never talk to me. I will weep.
Do I prithee, yet have the grace to consider that tears do not become a man.
But have I not cause to weep?
As good cause as one would desire, therefore weep.
Oh, his hair is of the dissembling color.
Something browner than Judas's. Mary, his kisses are Judas's own children.
His face. His hair is of a good color.
An excellent color. Chestnut was ever the only color.
And his kissing is as full of sanctity as the touch of holy bread.
He hath bought a pair of cassops of Diana, a nun of winter sisterhood, not more religiously.
No. But why did he swear he would come this morning and comes not?
Nay, certainly there is no truth in him.
Do you think so?
Yes, for his verity in love, I do think him as concave as a covered goblet, or worm-eaten nut.
Not true in love.
Yes, when he is in, but I think he is not in.
But you heard him swear downright he was.
Was is not is. Besides, the oath of a lover is no stronger than the word of a tapster. They're both the confirmers of false reckonings.
Oh.
He attends here in the forest on the Duke of your father.
I met with the Duke yesterday and had much question with him. He asked me, so he laughed and let me go. But what talk we of fathers when there is such a man as Orlando?
Oh, that's a brave man. He writes brave words, swears brave verses, swears brave oaths, and breaks them bravely. Who comes here?
Mistress and master, you have oft inquired after the shepherd that complained of love. Who you saw sitting by me on the turf, praising the proud, disdainful shepherdess that was his mistress?
Yeah. What of him?
If you will see a pageant truly played between the pale complexion of true love and the red glow of scorn and proud disdain, go hence a little, and I shall conduct you, if you will mark it.
Oh, come, let us remove the sight of lovers, feedeth those in love. Bring me to the sight, and you shall say, I'll play a busy actor in their play.
Phoebe! Oh, dear Phoebe, do not scorn me, Phoebe, do not. Say that you love me not, but say not so in bitterness. The common executioner, whose heart the accustomed sight of death makes hard, falls not the axe upon the humble neck, but first begs pardon. Will you sterner be than he that dies and lives by bloody drops?
I would not be thy executioner. I fly thee, for I would not injure thee. Thou sayest there is murder probable. The eyes, which are the softest and frailest of things, who shut their coward gates on enemies, should be called tyrants, butchers, murderers. Now I frown on thee with all my heart. Lie not to say mine eyes are murders. Now show the wound match thee but with a pin, and there remains some scar of it, lean but upon a rush. But now mine eyes, which I have darted at thee, hurt thee not. Nor I am sure there is any force in eyes that can do hurt.
Oh, sweet Phoebe, if ever, as that ever may be near, you meet in some fresh cheek the power of fancy, then will you know the wounds invisible that love's keen arrows make.
But till that time come not thou near me. And when that time comes, afflict me with thy marks, pity me not. As till that time I shall not pity thee.
And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exult all at once over the wretched? What, though you have no beauty, must you therefore be so proud and pitiless? What means this? Why do you look on me? Oh, I think she means to entangle my eyes too. No. Faith, proud mistress, think not of it. It is not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can attain my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd, wherefore do you follow her? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she, a woman. No. Oh. 'Tis such fools as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her. But, mistress, know yourself, down on your knees, and thank heaven. Fasting for a good man's love, for I must tell you friendly in your ear. Sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry, demand mercy. Love him. So, take her with you, shepherd. Fare you well.
Sweet youth, I pray you, chide a year together. I'd rather hear you chide than this man woo.
He has fallen in love with your foulness, and she'll fall in love with my anger. If it be so, as fast as she answers with frowning looks, I'll sauce her up with bitter words. Why you look so upon me?
For no ill will, I beg you.
No, I pray you, do not fall in love with me, for I am falser than vows made in wine. Will you go, sister? Shepherd, ply her heart. Come, sister. Shepherdess, look better on him, and be not proud, though all the world could see no one was so abused in the sight as he.
Dead shepherd, now I find thy saw of might. Whoever loved that loved not at first sight.
Sweet Phoebe,
What sayest thou, Silvius?
sweet Phoebe, pity me.
Why, I am sorry for thee, gentle Silvius.
Wherever sorrow is, relief would be. If you do sorrow at my grief and love, then by giving love, your sorrow and my grief were both extermined.
Thou hast my love. Is not that neighborly?
And I would have you.
Why, that were covetousness. Silvius, the time was that I hated thee. And yet it is not that I bear thee love. But since that thou canst talk of love so well, thy company, which erst was irksome to me, I will endure. And I'll employ thee too, but do not look for further recompense than thine own gladness that thou art employed.
So holy and so perfect is my love, that I would think it a most plenteous crop to glean the broken ears after the man that the main harvest reaps. Loose now, and a scattered smile, and that I'll live upon.
Knowest now that you've this spoke to me erewhile?
Not well, though I have met him oft, and he hath bought the bounds and the cottage that the old Carlet once was master of.
Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well when he who speaks them pleases those that hear. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offences, I did heal it up. He's not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. There's a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference between the constant red and mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, they would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. And yet I have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what did he to do to chide at me? A very taunting letter. Thou shalt bear it. Won't thou, Silvius?
Oh, Phoebe, with all my heart!
I'll write it straight. The matter's in my head and in my heart. I will be bitter with him and pass him short. Go with me, Silvius.
Have great reason to be sad. I fear you have sold your own land to see other men's, and to see everything and to have nothing is to have rich eyes and poor hands.
I have my experience.
And your experience makes you sad. I'd rather have a fool make me merry than to have experience make me sad, and to travel for it too.
Good day and happiness, dear Rosalind.
Nathan, God with ye, and you talk in blank verse.
Farewell, Mademoiselle Traveler. Well, how now, Orlando? Where have you been all this while? You, a lover? And you serve me such another trick. Never come in my sight more.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind. I come within an hour of my promise.
Break an hour's promise in love. He that will divide a minute into 1,000 parts, and but break that part of 1,000 part of a minute in the affairs of love, it may as well be said that Cupid hath clapped him over the shoulder. But I'll warrant him heart's whole.
Pardon me, dear Rosalind.
Nay, and you be so tardy too. Come no more in my sight. I had as lief be wooed of a snail.
Of a snail?
Aye, of a snail. For though he go slowly, he carries his house on his head. A better jointure I think you make a woman, and I am your Rosalind.
It pleases him to call you so, but yet the Rosalind of a better leer than you.
Come, woo me. Woo me! For now I am in a holiday humor, and like enough to consent. What would you say, and I were your very, very Rosalind?
I would kiss before I spoke.
Nay, you were better to speak first. And when you were gravelled for lack of matter, you might take occasion to kiss. Very good orators, when they are out, they will spit. And for lovers lacking, God warn us matter, the cleanliest shift is to kiss.
How if the kiss be denied?
Then she puts you to entreaty, and there begins new matter.
But who could be out, being before the beloved mistress?
Mary, that should I. If I were your mistress, I should think my honesty ranker than my wit.
What, of my suit?
Not out of your apparel, and yet out of your suit. Am I not your Rosalind?
I take some joy to say that you are, because I'll be talking of her.
Well, in her person, I say, I will not have you.
Then in my own person, I die.
Nay, die by attorney. The poor world is almost 6,000 years old, and in all this time there has never been any man in his own person died but illicit in a love cause. Troilus had his brains dashed out by a Grecian club, yet he did what he could to die before, and he is one of the patterns of love. Leander, he would have lived many a fair year had hero turned none, if it had not been for a hot midsummer night, for there he went to wash himself but forth in the Hellespont, and being taken with a cramp, drowned. And the foolish coroners of that age named it was Hera of Sestos. But these are all lies. Men have died from time to time, and worms have eaten them, but not for love.
I would not have my right Rosalind of this mind, for I protest. Her frown might kill me.
By this hand, it will not kill a fly. But come, now I will be your Rosalind in a more coming-on disposition. Ask me what you will, I shall grant it.
Then love me, dear Rosalind.
Yes, faith will I, Fridays and Saturdays and all.
And wilt thou have me?
I and 20 such.
What sayest thou?
Are you not good?
I hope so.
Well, can one desire too much of a good thing? Come, sister, you shall be the priest and marry us. Give me your hand, Orlando. What do you say?
I pray thee, marry us.
I cannot say the word.
You must begin, will you, Orlando?
Go to. Will you, Orlando, have to wife this Rosalind?
I will.
Aye, but when?
How now, as soon as she can marry us.
Then you must say, I take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I do take thee, Rosalind, for wife.
I might take some commission to say this, but I take thee, Orlando, for husband. Now, tell me how long you would have her after you have possessed her.
Forever and a day.
Say a day without the ever. No, Orlando. Men are April when they woo, December when they wed. Maids are May when they are maids, but the sky changes when they are wives. I will be more jealous of thee than a Barbary cock pigeon against his hen, more clamorous than a parrot against rain, more newfangled than an ape, and more giddy in my offenses than a monkey. I will weep for nothing like Diana in the fountain, and I will do that when thou art disposed to be merry. And I will laugh like a hyena, and I will do that when thou art inclined to sleep.
But will my Rosalind do so?
By my life, she will do as I do.
Oh, but she is wise.
Or else she cannot have the wit to do this. The wise are the waywarder. Make the doors upon a woman's wit, and it will out at the casement. Shut that, and it will out at the keyhole. Stop that, and it will fly out the smoke into the chimney.
For these 2 hours, Rosalind, I will leave thee.
Alas, dear love, I cannot lack thee 2 hours. 2 o'clock is your hour?
Aye, sweet Rosalind.
By my troth and in good earnest. And so God mend me, and by all pretty oaths that are not dangerous, if you break but one jot of your promise, and come 1 minute behind the hour, I will think you the most pathetical break promise, and the most hollow lover, and the most unworthy of her you call Rosalind, that you may be picked out of the gross band of the unfaithful. Therefore beware my censure, and keep your promise.
With no less religion, if thou wert indeed my Rosalind, so Eddie.
Well, time is the old justice that examines all such offenses, and let time try. Adieu.
You have simply misused our sex for your love prate. We must have your doublet and hose plucked over your head and show the world what the bird has done to her own nest.
Oh, cuz, my pretty little cuz. Let it not know how many fathom deep I am in love. Oh, but it cannot be sounded. My affection has an unknown bottom like the Bay of Portugal.
Or rather bottomless, that as fast as you pour affection in, it runs out. Whoosh.
No, that wicked son of Venus that was begot of thought, born of spleen, and conceived of madness. That blind rascally fellow that abuses everyone's eyes because his own are out. Let him be the judge of how deep I am in love. I tell thee, Eliana, I cannot be out of the sight of Orlando. I will go find a shade and sigh till he come.
And I'll sleep.
Oh, how say you now? Is it not past 2 o'clock? And here much Orlando.
I warrant you with pure love and troubled brain, he hath attained his bow and arrow and gone forth to sleep. Oh, look who comes here.
My errand is to you, fair youth. My gentle Phoebe bid me give you this. I know not the contents, but as I guess by the stern brown, waspish action in which she was writing of it, it bears an angry tenor. Oh, pardon me. I'm just but a guiltless messenger.
Patience herself would startle at this letter and play the swaggerer. Bear this, bear all. She says I am not fair, that I lack manners. She calls me proud and that she could not love me, whereas man as rare as Phoenix. Odds my will. Her love is not the hare that I do hunt. Why writes she so to me? Well, shepherd. Well, this is a letter of your own device.
No, I protest. I know not the contents. Phoebe did write it.
Oh, come. You are a fool and turn into the extremity of love. I saw her hand. She had a leathern hand, a freestone colored hand. I barely did think that her gloves were on, but 'twas her hands. She has a huswife's hand. But that's no matter. I say she never did write this letter. This is a man's invention, and his hand.
Sure, it is hers.
Why, 'tis a boisterous and cruel style. A style for challengers. Why, she defies me. Woman's gentle brain could not write such a giant, rude invention. Will you hear this letter?
So please you, for I have scarce heard it yet, although heard too much of Phoebe's cruelty.
She Phoebe's me. Mark how the tyrant writes. Art thou a god to shepherd turned, that a maiden's heart hath burned? Can a woman rail thus?
Call you this railing?
Why thy godhead laid apart, warest thou with a woman's heart? Did you ever hear such railing? While the eye of man did woo me, that could do no vengeance to me, meaning me, a beast, if the scorn of thy bright eye have power to raise such love in mine, alack in me, what strange effect would work in mild aspect? Whiles you chid me, I did love, how then might your prayers move? What? He that brings this love to thee, little knows this love in me. And by him seal up thy mind, whether that thy youth partake of me in all that I can make, or else by him my love deny, and then I'll study how to die.
Call you this chiding?
Alas, poor shepherd.
Do you pity him? No, he deserves no pity. Well, don't love such a woman. What, to be an instrument and play false strains upon thee? Not to be endured. Well, go your ways to her, for I see that love hath made thee a tame snake. And say this to her, if she love me, I charge her to love thee. If she will not, I will never have her unless thou entreat to her. If you be a true lover, and from hence, and not a word. For here comes new company.
Good morrow, fair ones. Pray you, if you know where in the pearliest of this forest stands a sheepcote fenced about by olive trees?
West of this place, down in the neighbor bottom, but at this hour the house does keep itself, there's none within.
If and I may profit by a tongue, then I should know you by description. Such garments and such years. The boy is fair, of female favor, and bestows himself like a ripe sister. The woman, low and paler than the brother. Are you not the owners of the house I did inquire for?
It's no boast being asked to say that we are.
Orlando doth commend himself to you both. And to the youth that he calls his Rosalind, he sends this bloody napkin. Are you he?
I am. What must we understand by this?
Some of my shame, if you will know of me, what man I am, and how and why and where this handkerchief was stained.
Oh, I pray you tell it.
When last the young Orlando parted from you, he left a promise to return again within an hour. As he paced through the forest, chewing the food of sweet and bitter fancy, lo it befell. Under an oak, whose boughs were mossed with age, high-top bald with dry itself, with their heads in nimble threats, did approach the openings of the man's mouth. But, seeing Orlando, it unlinked itself, and with indented gilded glides, made its way onto a bush. Under which bush's shade, a lioness with udders all drawn dry, lay crouching, head on ground, with cat-like prowess, that, when the sleepy man should stir, for 'tis the royal disposition of such a beast to prey on nothing which doth seem as dead. This seen, Orlando approached the man, and found it was his brother, his elder brother.
Oh, I've heard him speak of the same brother. He did render him the most unnatural that lived amongst men.
And he might so well do, for well I know he was unnatural.
But to Orlando, did he leave him there, food to the sucked and hungry lioness?
Twice he turned his back and purposed so. But kindness, ever stronger than revenge, and nature, nobler than his just occasion, made him give battle to the lioness, which quickly fell before him, in which, hurtling from miserable slumber, I awoke.
Are you his brother?
Was you he rescued?
Was you that did so oft contrive to kill him?
'Twas I, but 'tis not I. I do not shame to tell you what I was, since my conversion so sweetly tastes, being the thing I am.
But for the bloody napkin.
By and by, When from the first to the last betwixt us two, tears our countenance kindly bathed, that's how I came to that desert place. In brief, he led me to the gentle Duke, who outfitted me with fresh array and entertainment, entrusting me unto my brother's love, who immediately led me to his cave, there stripped himself, and here upon his arm the lioness had torn some flesh away, which all this while had bled. He fainted, and in fainting cried for his Rosalind. Brief, I recovered him, bound up his wound, and being strong at heart, he sent me hither, stranger as I am, to tell this story, and to give this napkin dyed in his blood to this shepherd youth that he doth in sport call his Rosalind.
Why, how now? Ganymede! Sweet Ganymede!
Many will swoon when they do look on blood.
There's more in it. Cousin Ganymede.
Look, he recovers.
I would I were at home.
Who'll bring you thither? I pray you, take him by the arm.
Be of good cheer, youth. You a man, you lack a man's heart.
I do. I confess it. Sirrah, a body would think this was well counterfeited. Do tell your brother how well I counterfeited. Hi-ho! Oh, Lord.
This was not counterfeited. There's too great a testimony in your complexion that it was a passion of earnest.
Counterfeited, I assure you.
Well then, take heart and counterfeit to be a man.
So do I, but to faith I should have been a woman by right.
Come, you look paler and paler. Pray you draw homewards. Good sir, go with us.
That will I. For I must bear answer back how you excuse my brother, Rosalind.
I shall devise something, but I pray you, commend my counterfeiting to your brother. Will you go?
Audrey, come on. We will find time, Audrey. Patience, gentle Audrey.
Faith, the priest was good enough for all the old gentleman's saying.
A most wicked Sir Oliver, Audrey, a most vile Martex. But, Audrey, there's a youth here in the forest lays claim to you.
I know who 'tis. He hath no interest in me in the world. Here comes the man you mean.
It is meat and drink to me to see a clown. By my troth, we that have good wits have much to answer for. We shall be flouting, we cannot hold.
Good evening, Audrey.
Good evening, William.
Good evening to you too, sir.
Good even, friend. Cover the head, cover the head. Nay, prithee, be covered. What is thy age, friend?
5 and 20, sir.
A ripe age. Was born in the forest here.
Aye, sir, I thank God.
Thank God, a good answer. Art rich?
Faith, sir, so-so.
So-so is good, very good. Very excellent good. And yet, it is not. It is but so-so. Art wise?
Aye, sir. I have a pretty wit.
Why, thou sayest well. I do now remember a saying, the fool doth think he is wise, but the wise man knows himself to be a fool. You do love this maid?
I do, sir.
Take my hand. Art thou learned?
No, sir.
Then learn this of me. To have is to have. Whereas a figure in rhetoric, that drink being poured out of a cup into a glass by filling the one doth empty the other. For all your writers do consent that Ipsy is he. Now, you are not Ipsy, for I am he.
Well, which he, sir?
He, sir, that must marry this woman. Therefore, you clown, abandon, which is in the vulgar, leave, the society, which in the boorish is company, of this female, which in the common is woman, which together is, abandon the society of this female, or clown, thou perishest. Or to thy better understanding, diest. Or to wit, I kill thee. Make thee away. Translate thy life into death. I will deal in poison with thee, or in bastinado, or in steel. I will kill thee 150 ways, therefore tremble and depart.
Audrey?
Huh? Do good, William.
God rest you, Mary, sir.
Our master and mistress seek you. Come, away, away!
Trip, Audrey, trip. I attend, I attend.
Would you like to go with others? Would you like to go with me?
Is it possible that in so little acquaintance you should like her? And that but seeing you should love her? And loving wooing she should grant? And will you persevere to enjoy her?
Neither call the giddiness of it in question, the poverty of her, the little acquaintance, my sudden wooing, nor her sudden consenting, but say with me that I love Aliena. Say with her that she loves me. Consent that we may enjoy each other. It shall be to your good. For all that was old Sir Roland's, all that was my father's, I will estate unto you, and here live and die a shepherd.
You have my consent. Let the wedding be tomorrow, and thither will I invite the Duke and all his attendant followers. Go you and prepare Elena, for look you here comes my Rosalind.
God save you, brother.
And you, fair sister. You didn't hear anything.
Oh, my dear Orlando, how it grieves me to see you wear thy heart in a scarf.
Esmeralda.
Oh. I thought thy heart would have been wounded with the claws of a lion.
Wounded it is, but with the eyes of a lady.
Did your brother tell you about how well I counterfeited when he showed me your handkerchief?
Aye, and greater wonders than that.
I know where you are. Nay, it is true. There was never such a sight as the fight of two rams and Caesar's farcical brag of I came, I saw, and overcame. For your brother and my sister no sooner met, but they looked, no sooner looked, but they loved, no sooner loved, but they sighed, no sooner sighed, but asked each other the reason, no sooner found the reason, but sought the remedy. And in these degrees they will make a pair of stairs into marriage, in which they will climb in continence, or else be in continence before marriage. They are in the very wrath of love, and they will be together. Clubs cannot part them.
They shall be married tomorrow, and thither, and I will bid the Duke the nuptial, but oh, how bitter a thing it is to look into happiness through another man's eyes. And by the much the more tomorrow shall I be at the height of heart heaviness, by how much so I will be happy for my brother in having what he wishes for.
Well then, tomorrow, can I not serve your turn for Rosalind?
I can live no longer by thinking.
I will weary you no longer with idle talk. Know of me then, for I speak to some purpose. I know you are a gentleman of good conceit. I speak not this that you may bear a good opinion of my knowledge, insomuch I say I know you are. Neither do I labor in a greater esteem than may in some little measure draw a belief from you to do yourself good and not to grace me. Believe then, if you please, that I can do strange things. I have, since I was 3 years old, conversed with a magician. most profound in its art, and yet not damnable. If you do love Rosalind to the heart as your gesture cries out, when your brother marry Ileana, shall you marry her? I know what straits of fortune she is driven, and it is not impossible for me, if it can appear inconvenient to you, to set her before your eyes tomorrow as human as she is, and without any danger.
Speakest thou in sober meanings?
By my life, I do, which I tender dearly, although I say I am a magician. Therefore, put on your best array, bid your friends, for if you will be married tomorrow, you shall, and to Rosalind, if you will. Oh, here comes a lover of mine and a lover of hers. Hide, now, hide, go.
Youth, youth, youth,
Ah.
youth, you've done me much on gentleness to show the letter I writ to you.
I care not if I have. It is my study to seem despiteful and ungentle towards you. You are followed by a most faithful shepherd. Look upon him. Love him. He worships you.
Good shepherd, tell you this youth what 'tis to love.
It is to be all made of sighs and tears. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of faith and service. And so am I for Phoebe.
And I for Ganymede.
And I for Rosalind.
And I for no woman.
It is to be all made of fantasy, all made of dreams, and all made of wishes, all adoration, duty, and observance, all humbleness, all patience and impatience, all trial, all purity, all observance. And so am I for Phoebe.
And so am I for Ganymede.
And so am I for Rosalind.
And so am I for no woman.
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
If this be so, why blame you me to love you?
Who do you speak to? Why you blame me to love you?
To her that is not here, nor doth not hear.
Pray you, enough of this. 'Tis like the howling of Irish wolves against the moon. I will help you if I can. I would love you if I ever loved woman. Tomorrow meets me all together. I would marry you if I ever married woman, and you will be married tomorrow. I will satisfy you if I ever satisfied man, and you will be married tomorrow. I will content you if what pleases you contents you, and you will be married tomorrow. As you love Rosalind, meet. As you love Phoebe, meet. And as I love no woman, meet. So fare you well. I have left you your commands.
I'll not fail if I live.
Nor I.
Nor I.
Is it just me staring in the mirror on the wall? All I can see is nothing more of nothing at all. Behind that grinning face, you know what I've discovered. Avoid an empty space.
Joyful day, Audrey. Tomorrow, we will be married. Audrey?
Yay! And I do desire it with all my heart. Here comes Damien's.
Wow, that's honest gentleman.
By my troth, well met. Come, sit, and a song.
Let's go with me. Well, shall I clap it into it roundly without hawking or spitting or saying I'm hoarse, which is the only prologue to a bad voice? Yes, do it, yeah. Okay. Here's it. Ooh. Have a seat. It was a lover and his lass that o'er the green cornfield did pass. In springtime, the only pretty ring between the acres of the rye.
With the hay and a hoe,
These pretty country folks would lie.
and a hay not a no.
In springtime, the only pretty ring time when birds do sing.
Hey, ding a ding ding.
Hey, ding a ding ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. This carol they began that hour
With the hay and a hoe,
Our life was but a flower
and a hay not a no.
in springtime, the only pretty ring time when birds do sing.
Hey, ding ding ding.
Hey, ding ding ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. Okay, I'm coming for you next. Ready? Therefore, take the present time. For love is crowned in the prime. In springtime, the only pretty ring time when birds do sing. Hey, ding a ding ding. Sweet lovers love the spring. Hey, ding a ding ding. Sweet lovers love the spring.
Boo! 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 Truly, young gentlemen, though there was no great matter in the ditty, yet the note was very untunable.
You are mistaken, sir. I kept my time, I lost not my time.
By my troth, yes, I count it but time lost to hear such a foolish song. God buy you and God mend your voice. Come, Audrey.
She.
Dost thou believe, Orlando, that the boy can do all this that he has promised?
I sometimes do believe and sometimes do not. As those that know they fear and fear they hope.
Patience once more while our contract is urged. You say, O Duke, if I bring your daughter here, that you will bestow her onto Orlando.
I would, had I kingdoms to give with her.
You say you'll have her if I bring her.
That would I, if I were all of kingdoms king.
You say you'll marry me if I be willing.
That will I. Should I die the hour after?
But if you refuse me, you will give yourself to this most faithful shepherd.
So is the bargain.
You say you'll marry her if she will.
Oh, to have her and death were both the same thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. I have made all of these matters even. Keep your word, O Duke, that you will give your daughter. You yours, Orlando, that you'll receive his daughter. Keep your word, Phoebe, that you'll marry me, or else refusing me, you will wed the shepherd. Keep your word, Silvius, that you'll marry her, or else refuse me. And, no, from hence I go to make all these doubts even.
I do remember in this shepherd boy some lively touches of my daughter's fate.
And greetings to you all.
Good my lord, bid him welcome. This is that motley-minded gentleman I have met so often in the forest. He hath been a courtier, he swears.
If any man doubt that, let him put me to my purgation. I have trod a measure. I have flattered a lady. Been politic with my friend. Smooth with mine enemy. I have undone 4 tailors. I have had 4 quarrels and like to have fought one.
But how's that ta'en up?
Faith, we met and found the matter was upon the 7th cause.
How 7th cause? Good my lord, like this fellow.
I like him very well.
God ild you, sir. I desire you of the like. I press in here, sir, amongst the rest of the country copulatives, to swear and to forswear, according as marriage binds and blood breaks. Poor virgin, sir, ill-favored thing, but mine own. A poor humor of mine, sir, to take that which no man else will. Rich honesty dwells like a miser, as your pearl and your foul...
And my faith is very swift and sententious.
According to the fool's bolt, sir, and such dulcet diseases.
Is this not a rare fellow, my lord? He's as good at anything and yet a fool.
He uses his folly like a stalking horse, and beneath the presentation of that, he shoots his wit.
Why are you standing around after we get married? Then is there mirth in heaven when earthly things made even atone together. Good Duke, receive thy daughter. Hymen from heaven brought her, yea, brought her hither, that thou mightst join her hand with his, whose heart within his bosom is.
To you, I give myself, for I am yours. To you, I give myself, for I am yours.
If there be truth in sight, you are my daughter.
If there be truth in sight, you are my Rosalind.
If sight and shape be true, I then my love adieu.
I'll have no father if you be not he. I'll have no husband if you be not he. Nor I ever marry woman if you be not she.
Peace! Oh, I bar confusion. 'Tis I must give conclusion. Join hands to join in Hymen's bands. If truth holds true contents, you and you, no cross shall part. You and you are heart in heart. You to his love must accord, or have a woman for your lord. You and you are true together, as the winter to foul weather. And whiles a wedlock hymn we sing, feed yourselves with questioning, that reason, wonder make us how we met, and these things finish. Niece, welcome thou art to me, even daughter, in no less degree.
We gotta get a family photo.
Get a
Picture time,
picture.
let's go.
Show the rings.
Wow, that was really good.
I will not keep my word, now that thou art mine. Thy faith my fancy to thee doth combine.
Listen. Let me have audience for a word or two. Duchess Frida, hearing how that every day men of great worth resorted to this forest, addressed a mighty power, which were on foot in her own conduct, purposely to take a brother here and put him to the sword. And to the skirts of this wild wood she came, where, meeting with an old religious man, after some question with him, was converted, both from her enterprise and from the world, her crown bequeathing to her banished brother, and all their lands restored again to them that were with him exiled.
Thou offerest fairly to these brothers' wedding. Meantime, forget this new fallen dignity, and fall into our rustic revelry. And you, brides and bridegrooms all, with measure heaped in joy, to the measures fall.
To the Duchess will I, so to your pleasures. I am for other than dancing measures.
Proceed, and we will begin these rites, as we do trust they'll end in true delights.
It is not the fashion to see the lady the epilogue, but it is no more unhandsome to see the lord the prologue. If it be true that good wine needs no bush, then 'tis true that a good play needs no epilogue. Yet to good wine they do use good bushes, and good plays prove the better by the help of good epilogues. What a case am I in then, that am neither a good epilogue nor can insinuate with you in the behalf of a good play. I am not furnished like a beggar, therefore to beg will not become me. Mine is you, and I charge you, O men, for the love you bear to women, as I perceive by your simpering none of you hates them. Between you and the woman the play may please. If I were a woman, I would kiss as many of you that had beards that pleased me, complexions that liked me, and breaths that I defied not. And I am sure that as many of you that have good beards and good faces and sweet breaths will, for my kind offer, when I make curtsy, bid me farewell.